We back in this thing for number 214. That would be 214. How would you say 214, Rhodesia, in French, seeing that WWE's in Paris? Make up something.
Menage a trois.
That's 3, right? Isn't that just...
That's
so
3, but
yeah.
menage a trois minus the menage.
Or it could be menage a tutu. 2 plus 2 equals 4.
But then
Right?
it's
So we
not
got
right
2 plus
either.
1 is 3. 2 plus 1 is 3. Just like Chad Johnson when he came back as Ocho Cinco.
Okay.
And that's not his number. It's a whole thing.
I see
So
it. I guess I had to be
it's
there,
the whole
right?
thing. Rhodesia, how would you say 214? Where was AEW at? They were in England, right? Weren't they in London?
Yes. Something like that. They was in the in the UK.
They're in the UK. They were in the UK.
Dos, cuatro.
Which one is that? Is that French or is that UK?
214. That's French. The UK speaks English.
You sure about that? Some of those chants.
Well, some of them
It was
are,
a little hard.
depending
Yeah,
on where
it was a
they're
little
at.
rough.
Yeah, sure.
It was a little rough.
Sure.
They elongated some R's, some L's, some G's. They booed Cody.
Interesting.
I should be a rapper.
Very interesting.
I wasn't going to start there, but let's start there.
All right.
And we'll intro the pod later. So, I'm not making this a big deal. I'm not. Actually, I want to speak on this more of just like when real life happens in professional wrestling promos. And we got 2 of those this week. We got one on SmackDown with John Cena and Logan Paul. And we're sitting there watching SmackDown. And one thing that I really want and hope he works on, Logan Paul, is he emotes way too much when the babyface is talking to him in a face-to-face promo. And I've said it before, I think to Rhodesia or Lil Matt. I've said it before, and he was doing it again on Friday night with Cena. Just way too much emoting when Cena let him cut his entire promo. He cut Cena off, he went, and then when it was time for Cena to go, he was doing his normal thing. It's a small thing, but that's a big thing because this is not your time. You can react, but this is the time for the babyface to get one up on you. So this is not time for you to be telling the babyface to shut up or dismiss the babyface. This is time for you to take it. And then if there is going to be some physicality at the end of the promo, then we set that up. But he was doing his thing. And then Cena told him in the middle of the ring, basically, be quiet. Stop talking. I'm talking now. And in the promo, it worked. If you're just watching the promo for what it is, it worked completely. But if you kind of know, everybody that Cena's in the ring with, he is hopefully helping them in some way. Outside of maybe Austin Theory. I don't know if he helped Theory at all. But everybody else is typically some type of like teaching moment. Right? You remember the one with Roman? We can go down the list of everybody he shared a ring with. He's probably going to eat you up, but you're going to be better afterwards. And when he told Logan Paul, be quiet, I told Rhodesia, I was like, that was a shoot. Because he's telling him in real time, you are doing too much right now. And I'm going to assume going forward, we're going to see Logan Paul chill out a little bit during said interaction with another babyface in the middle of the ring. Go back and watch if you didn't notice it. And he stopped. You know, he would emote when Cena wasn't talking. Like if Cena took a breath or the crowd is chanting, you just don't want to stand there looking stupid. But he wasn't doing much anymore of that. I thought that was great. But Monday night, Roman Reigns mentions Cody Rhodes' name and the crowd boos. And Roman Reigns says, interesting. I don't think Roman Reigns is hating on Cody. I don't think there was an ulterior motive there. I think that was one of those real life situations where you get to a certain level in WWE where you kind of can say and do what you want on the microphone. Right? We've seen that numerous times with other people. This reminded me, though, of ironically, because we're talking about Roman, when Rock came back to help Roman at that Royal Rumble and the crowd booed and the look Rock had on his face. Right? Like, Rock should be able to mask that look. But that was a real life look, and he's at a point where he can do that look. And that look was okay, something's not right. Why are they not cheering right now? Like, he was straight bewildered. And I wonder if a little of that was Roman's reaction of, okay, that's interesting. They booed. And just because I mentioned his name. What did you guys think when you heard him say interesting? What did you think about that?
Well, when I heard the initial statement, I thought it was just Roman improv in the moment. Like, right?
Okay.
I don't know if he was expecting a boo for Cody internationally, maybe in the States in front of some of the hardcore fans, possibly. But maybe it was interesting that, you know, internationally, where they typically go along with the show. Like, right, they're gonna boo the bad guys, they're gonna, you know, cheer for the heroes, etc. So maybe for him, that's just the first thing that came to mind. Like, okay, international crowd booing a fan favorite. That's what I got from it.
Do you think he had any type of ulterior motive to it? Because he could have held that in, probably, right? I mean, he could have saw it and kind of took it in a little bit and maybe took it to the back and said something to somebody about it. But for him to say it in that moment, and once again, I don't think it was ill. I don't think he did it, like I said, to make Cody look bad or anything. I think that was his genuine response of like, oh, that's surprise. Okay, that's interesting. All right.
That's interesting that you worded it that way, because I was going to say something along the lines of, I don't think it was proper for him to say that and how he said it, because it was so genuine in what you just said. But you brought up a great point that there's a couple people, once you make it past that level, you can pretty much say and do whatever. And it did make me think of Rock when he came back. Not the exact one that you were talking about, but all the other ones that he's come back and he just kind of go out there and go with it. Sometimes with Punk, but Punk is kind of a tweener as far as his character. So he's always had the liberty, I believe. I feel like that he can go back and forth and say whatever he feels on the second run. But at first I was like, ooh, like that was not cool. That was my initial gut thing. Like, Roman, you can't do that. Because now you're drawing attention to it. I thought it was done on purpose. So whereas I can see the genuineness in his face, I still also feel like Roman is beyond that to where he would let something slip up like that as well on TV. So I'm a little bit conflicted on how I felt about that, because I feel like he should not have said that, because I also feel like he is methodical in what he does as well. So I'm kind of conflicted.
Hey, I gotta tell you guys something. When you mentioned, you know, like the Logan Paul thing, one of the things that kind of not interest me. Now, I'm not Roman. One thing that irritates me about wrestling is some of the tropes, the common trope, because we watch, you know, collectively, we've been watching wrestling for 200 years, right? I'm telling you what, man, if I got a dude stand across from me talking smack, I'm not going to stand there and let us hear him out. I'm not going to let him just stand there and get his stuff off. I was, you know, and that's common when you watch wrestling, but in real life, that ain't going down like that. Like, right, you go look at some of these UFC back and forth, they're not just sitting there, standing there, letting these dudes just go off and go into a whole 5-minute monologue, you know, downgrading and undressing these people. To me, it always seemed kind of weird over time that we didn't evolve from that. Right? Like, we didn't evolve from like just standing there or while somebody undresses you in front of millions of people. Like, right, that just always seemed weird that it didn't get past that. So when Logan Paul does it, he's not in the wrestling bubble, so to speak, to where, like, okay, hey, here in wrestling, you let people cut you down for 15 minutes before you reply. Like, right, to him, naturally, right, if he's going back and forth with a dude, that's probably how he will react, right? So now, you know, so, and also that makes the conversation seem a little bit more organic and not necessarily cookie cutter promo style wrestling, right? To where John Cena has to say something, and now it seems like, oh, is it real? Oh, is it a shoot or a work? It gets you talking about the actual promo more so than you would have if it just was a stereotypical thing, right? So when we talk about with Roman in this instance about the interested comment, I think in the moment it'd be disingenuous with him as a character to not acknowledge what's happening around him, especially when it's so loud and audible on your TV. Like, right? So for him to ignore it, like, I don't know, like, in like that's kind of his guy, kind of his not in storyline. Like, why would he not say something in the moment, right? And then interesting isn't like damn right, Cody, they're booing
Well, it was
you.
the word. It was the word. That's what I'm talking about. If he would have said, damn right, Cody, whatever, and the crowd pops, we're not having this conversation. Maybe the conversation we're having is, hey, when do they pull the trigger on Roman Cody 3? Right? If he says anything that the normal Roman Reigns character on television would say, we're probably not even bringing this up on the show. To me, it was the word interesting. And that was it. Like, it was deadpan interesting. It was kind of like, okay, duly noted. Like, if we knew him to be an asshole backstage and say he always played the political game, like he politicked his entire run to get at the top, we would look at that and say, oh shit, it's on now. Because he's going to go back and tell somebody, I told you he wasn't a guy. I told you we shouldn't have put the title on him. You guys want to wait another year for Roman Cody 3 for me to get the title back? We need to push that up 6 months. We could see that. And there's a world where that would happen back in the day in wrestling, where somebody will politic that much. It was just really interesting to me for him to use the word interesting. That's all. It was something else. Oh, so I've always kind of thought, you know, like when WCW came around, it's something you said, E. You talked about like the normal wrestling tropes and how we know what a 15-minute promo is. One person goes, next person goes, maybe get some physicality or, you know, the whole kind of thing. And I do think from a storyline or from a story perspective, you got to make sure you do that because they are working together. Everybody's got to look right in the right time, et cetera, et cetera. And this whole Unreal thing being on Netflix, which I don't know why that comes to my mind a lot because they've been doing WWE 24 forever on the network where they would show behind the scenes. But it's something about Unreal that's a little bit different, you know, but I kind of always thought like years ago, like WCW was different in the presentation of WWF back in the day. Albeit with luchadors, albeit how it was shot, it was different. ECW, of course, was completely different. You know, you may get one match and you get 3 long promos in the entire show. And the promos weren't really in the ring. It was, you know, in the backstage or down an alley or something like that, just completely different. TNA, 6-sided ring, right? In a sound stage, completely different look and feel, X Division, different type of matches. AEW, of course, has their thing, and it had their thing against WWE. I would always wonder, like, what's next? You know, like, if there was a brand new promotion that hit the ground today, like legit television promotion, not an indie promotion, or maybe it could be an indie promotion, but they run storylines, you know, every month or how often they run shows. I always kind of wonder, like, what could they do to be different? And maybe that's one thing. I like the promo piece. You think about UFC and boxing. We get a face-to-face, and typically it's at the press conference. And yeah, like the final weigh-in, you may get some pushing or shoving, but they know we're going to talk shit all day to each other. We selling the fight, but we're not touching. It would be kind of cool, like if there's a promotion that comes out where it's like it's known to East Point. There is no touching in the promo. Maybe there is no in-ring promos. Maybe if there is a promo, they're sitting at a table. I don't know. Like they would kind of have to figure that out. But like, is there anything you guys would think like right now on the top of your head where you're like, man, if there was a new promotion who just wanted to do things completely different in pro wrestling, this would be something that I wish they would tackle or I wish they would do?
I was going to say that as far as like the character work. AEW attempted to do it more sports. I even felt it. I felt it for a while that I felt like it was more sports. Even so, when they were doing your win-loss record, I'm like, whatever new wrestling company, if they want to be different, you know, this is what you can do, make it more sports. But in 2025, we know that as content and as characters, I would imagine that it would be even more over the top character, maybe like a NXT as far as their backstage vignettes and such, but probably, of course, better wrestling talent. I would hope, if you're opening a new company and you have like a national TV deal, I would imagine that it would be a better, not as green talent as NXT, but the flow would feel like NXT. A whole bunch of storylines, a whole bunch of over the top promos. Like, okay, what the hell am I watching? But you're watching something that is just full of craziness. That if somebody wanted to come out with something and they wanted to be completely different, because I think those storylines, which y'all talk about all the time, storylines is what keep people around. That is pretty much the pillar of professional wrestling, is that storyline and getting people engaged. They would just probably take that in times 2, times 4 it.
I think I might have mentioned it maybe in one of our earlier shows, but I think Lucha Underground is a little ahead of its time as far as their presentation. In the sense, like a lot of the things you're doing backstage, right? It was a wrestling show. It had matches, crazy stuff that was happening. But the storylines and things that were happening were like crazy. Like people were dying. It was all kinds of stuff happening backstage, right? And I think during the pandemic, especially with WWE, when they started kind of doing some of the when they started kind of doing like the it just slipped my mind. What were they doing back? Like when they had like the Undertaker AJ Styles match. Like they had that match. Cinematic matches, right?
Yeah.
Like what's one like? So as wrestling fans, we've been around for collectively 300 years watching this stuff. Like, right? What do you always hear about wrestling? Like, hey, you watch that fake stuff. And so I think some of the stuff that WWE is doing with Unreal and kind of pulling the curtain back. And it's already pulled back already, right? But they're trying to let people know that, hey, we're in on it. Like we want you to get in on it, right? Let your guard down about, hey, this is scripted, it's not real, things of that nature. This is a show, this is a presentation. Like wrestling is always going to be a key ingredient to any wrestling TV show. Of course, it's a ring, right? But what if they kind of made it more cinematic, right? With your behind the scenes, and they made it seem more like a TV show versus a wrestling show. Like I think that would draw some people in because, for instance, we were big fans of Glow, like right, which is a show about wrestling.
Dude, when you talking, that's where my mind immediately went to. Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling back in the day.
Like the first season of Glow was amazing. It got really good ratings for Netflix. It was a hit. Like, right? Talk about Total Divas, another hit in its own. Now, they didn't wrestle at all, but the characters, the stories, things of that nature, like that's really what draws people in because, the characters, the stories really draw people in. And of course, guess what? We actually in the ring wrestling and doing amazing things inside the ring as well. Right. And I think if another company were to come out there and say, yes, a big ingredient to what we do is wrestling in a ring. But what about the cinematic aspects and the stories that we have inside and outside of the ring? Right. What if they took like backstage promos, etc., into a different level, especially with the locker room stuff? What if they filmed it in more of a cinematic way versus them just kind of standing around the locker room talking? What if it was like a setup, like a TV, scene? Like, right. And you had different there's a lot of things they can do from a cinematic aspect. I think they can kind of use to kind of take wrestling to a different step to make it more accessible to your casual viewers.
With the the backstage promos and like the storylines in your world, would you want them to be like ultra realistic, or do you want so over the top that I know I am watching a television show that's wrestling?
I would lean more into a television show watching wrestling because when you actually watch some, for instance, when you're watching Creed, right, and the way they film their interviews and their backstage, right, it seems cinematic. It seems like a movie. All right, it's not just like you're at a basketball game, you're in the sideline reporters interviewing like the guy, right? What if you made it seem bigger? You made it seem more cinematic in a way. Because I was talking about like with AEW when they were in Chicago and they were doing the residency and how ugly the backstage settings were. I'm like, man, like, look, if you knew that's how it looked backstage there, why wouldn't you set up propped areas? Why wouldn't you set up sets for your interviews, for your backstage segments that they can kind of go into? So what if over time they look similar? I just think from a presentation standpoint and optically viewing it on television, that would look a lot better. I would lean into the cinematic aspect of everything outside of wrestling, and then it will culminate inside the ring.
In the ring, that'd be so cool if they did. Like, say if we had two, I would love to see that. Like just the way over the top TV show. that's kind of like what NXT is sometimes. Like their backstage promos are like so like, all right, this is so hokey, but it's great because whatever. I would like to see that company, and I also would like to see the complete opposite company. I would like to see a wrestling company that is almost similar to UFC, where you ain't coming out here making your own matches. You know, it's real, but there's gonna be storylines. So you're gonna have characters, right? And we know typically the biggest UFC shows and pay-per-views are from characters and storylines that we want to see, either because somebody's undefeated or because they're trying to, you know, exact revenge from a fight they had with this person 2 years ago where they would have been undefeated, but now they've only lost once. If it was a whatever it is, I think that would be really cool too. That would be a little bit hard to pull off because you can't just always do just wrestling match. But once again, this is if somebody is coming strictly saying wrestling reimagined, right? If we told Paul Heyman, all right, Paul Heyman, here is $50 million to go, and you get to create your own wrestling promotion. You get tabs on who you sign. You get final say on everything that happens. You get complete and utter creative control. But it's got to be different than what's on TV right now. I would love to see what he comes up with.
He definitely go cinematic. I mean, that's he owns a company that makes films right now, which I didn't know about until the Ariel Helwani interview he did. I'm like, wow. Real quick, I would want it to be straight over ultra realistic. If we're talking about something different, I would want it NXT, but with non-green talent. I would want that. And then to the point about getting you someone on the opposite, literally though, that was what AEW was for a moment in the very beginning. It was just match after match after match. It mattered who won, who lost. Just what happened was the booking, and we don't have to go down that path again. That it just fell off at that point. But I think that was kind of the vibe. I would used to always say that I compared AEW to kind of UFC because it was fight heavy and not much storylines. And we saw by not having good storylines what happened.
I think when you present wrestling as being realistic, I think that's when you get the casual fans pushback because they know. Especially when you're watching the UFC, the things they're doing on that side, they know what realistic wrestling looks like. The only time we actually got wrestling like to that level was back in Japan days when they had what was it Pan? What was that promotion they had? It was a wrestling promotion. I want to say Pride, but I don't think the name was Pride. But
Pride was
they
presented
other
MMA.
That was UFC or MMA.
Yeah, UFC Pride.
Maybe
yeah. I know what you're talking about. I remember hearing about it. I don't know the name of it.
Yeah,
I never watched any of it. I don't think.
It was like they wrestled the matches like they were real, but they were all predetermined. Like right, so in a way, fans really bought into thinking this thing.
I need to
real.
watch this. You gotta find a name. I
just don't think that right now you could do a realistic, wrestling promo because people are into it, and also you have to change the style. Okay, right? You look at like AEW and the way they wrestle matches, like it seems very choreographed, and you can tell there's a lot of help spots. So when you're a fan watching these shows, it looks fake to you, like that looks unrealistic. How can that happen, right? The only way they can do a realistic wrestling show is if they tone down those high spots and they wrestle a more realistic style. And I don't know if that's going to get over in today's audience.
Yeah, maybe not. But that's why it would be cool because it has to be completely different, right? Like that would be the caveat. And maybe that is okay. We're going to go back to a pile driver finishes a match.
Which
you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, whoever, I'm the agent. All right, you got one crazy ass move in this match. Make it count. You got one. If you want that to be the Panama Sunrise, God bless. If you want that to be the tombstone outside the ring, God bless. You got one. And that one's going to finish the match. Put it together.
Yo, Matt, there was another match. I watched, I'll have to go back. And I'm going to have to think about what the name of this show. But Gary Albright, have you heard of him?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So he wrestled in one of these promotions. He was wrestling some dude. I remember getting it on pay-per-view. And, man, he did a belly-to-back suplex on this dude. And he almost killed my man. That and you think about it, he's taking this dude and he's dumping him on the back of his head, right? And he was murdering this dude. And that's what the match was about. It was like, oh, man, they were building to him trying to get dude in the position to give him another belly back suplex. And the announcer's like, man, if he takes one more drop to the head, it's going to be lights out. And that's what they were working the entire match, was that him trying to get in a position to get this suplex on him, right? So that the dude's trying to block him. He's trying to do everything he can. You see Gary trying to get back in the position. It was like a really, 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 really like awesome thing, right? So I think that type of style may or may not get over, but I feel like the casual viewers, when they're watching it, even if it has elements of like realism to it, they're automatically going to check out. Like, but let me check, bro. I'm gonna look this up, man. I'm telling you, this match was gruesome.
Yeah, send it to me.
When Gary finally got that second belly to back, I knew it was over, man. Because that dude got up and he wasn't selling. This dude was out on his feet, man. It was crazy.
That's cool. Well, we just went on a 25-minute tangent. Mm-hmm. This is the TFW podcast. That's freaking wrestling. Y'all know the deal by now. If you don't, I'm Matt. That's E. That's Rhodesia. Let's get that out the way, right? Which I want to start with. 25 minutes in, considering
I was about to say,
both of y'all completely just shitted on
we're not doing this again.
with Jericho last week. By the way,
we're not doing
numbers
that today.
Through the roof on that episode. Shout out to the watchers and listeners. Clips was out of here, but y'all didn't want to do it. Y'all was like,
you know why?
I don't want to do it.
You know why he got so many views and how it's the top rated
Why
one?
is that?
Because they were like, I can't believe that TFW started their show with Jericho. I gotta watch this.
Right. And guess what? To means it worked. Trust me. Trust me.
Listen to this retelling of history. I committed and gave you a serious conversation about a dude that I despise. Like, right? I gave you all I had for that segment. Just to end. Oh, the second person. You up there. You right. You close. But he up there too. You got, and that's a damn shame what happened to Chris Jericho, man. I used to love Chris Jericho in WCW, and then his early WWE and F run. Like,
no,
but
man, AEW was great, dude. No,
yeah,
man,
about the last 2 years.
Yeah, he was good for that year before.
Yeah,
he was
you
good
think
that
just
first
the year?
The first, what was the circle?
The Pinnacle, right?
No,
that happened afterwards. That happened
That
afterwards.
was MJF's thing. That was MJF's thing.
Okay, yeah.
The Inner Circle.
The Inner Circle.
The Inner Circle was great.
Yeah.
After the Inner Circle.
See, I got Jericho being good for a minimum of 2.5 years. I would have to go back and timestamp it, but his last year was absolutely
I did like the Jericho appreciation thing too, actually, because I like my boy Daddy Magic on there, man. I think that dude's hilarious. I think it's a travesty he is not wrestling for that promotion. I think you talk about a guy who emotes, like he is such an 80s wrestler.
I was about to say something so wrong,
man.
But I'm not. I'll say he's better off on commentary. But actually, let me stop, because actually he's a good wrestler.
Damn.
Who, Daddy Magic?
Yeah.
So wait, I want to know this though. Why can he be called Daddy Magic, but I can't be called Big Daddy? I want to know.
Because
why?
Oh, you want to know? Okay,
I want to know.
This is why.
I want to know why.
I am sure when that man gets off work, I am sure he does not speak in third person. He don't speak in third person on television. And I am sure when he is texting his friends and talking to his friends, he don't say, Daddy Magic is about to go blah, blah, blah. Daddy Magic is about to X. He don't do that, man. That's
well, you know
That's the difference.
My man, Matt, not you, Matt, the other man, his name's Matt Menard. Matt, if you stayed in character a little bit longer, maybe you'd be on TV a little bit more like Big Daddy. I'm in character all day
right now.
And then the other part of it is,
look, he over there popping himself. Look,
right, you
so
originally created this name of Big Dad E, but you're not a big guy.
No, man, he was so proud. He had to hit mute. He was so damn proud when he hit that line. What the hell are we doing? What do y'all want to start with? 30 minutes in.
Why do you have two random things? I was going to ask at the end of the show, but I think a lot of my comedic relief. Hold on, I think a lot of my
is this worthy of the A block?
Hell yeah! If Jericho was worthy of the A block, this absolutely is worthy of the A block.
All right. The numbers better dictate it as well. Shout out to the listeners.
My sense of humor usually isn't like shown until the end of the show, and from what you told me, sometimes people don't even listen at the very end of the show. So I would like to place it right here, especially since we went 25 minutes talking about on a tangent, talking about different wrestling companies. So two things. One, I'm now using a new camera, an old camera, but new camera, a better camera. So just for purposes of the show, and I had to do it here because I tried to do it on my phone last week and it didn't really quite work. So right now, am I looking directly in the camera? Or am I still looking over the camera? I am.
No, you're looking. Actually, let me go ahead and give you a little bit more screen so I can look and see. So I can look deep,
so am
deep
I looking
into your face.
directly
No,
in the camera?
you still above it a little bit.
I am looking above it. Okay. And
yeah,
then
you still above it.
So I've been meaning to wear my Bayley shirt, which we're gonna get into.
Yo, no, wait, before you get to
What?
two. That was your A block. Am I
Yeah.
looking into the camera?
Yeah, because that's important to me. Because I've been clowned on this show a few times, talking about like I come in and I look over the thing. I want to just make sure I know where to look at, where I need to see.
All right, go ahead. Okay, proceed. What's number two?
Now I've had this shirt for a long time.
Okay.
And I've washed this shirt many a times. But swear to God, when I first put this shirt on, that says I'm a hugger.
Yep.
This kind of got indented. And for a hot second, I thought this mug said I was an N-word. Damn near lost it.
Hey, that shirt called like a Caesar, pal.
I was like, oh, hell no. Oh, okay, cool. It just says hugger. I'm like, did somebody pull a prank on me and switch out my shirts? But there you go. I think we can go home now.
It's hell of a segue. Week 3 of Bayley.
Yes.
These promos getting better and better.
Better and better. And the pain you see on her face as she's hearing this. And we know because it's come out before, especially when she was down in NXT and with Dusty, that this was kind of an issue of who is she, especially when she first came up to main roster as Bayley. Like the pain you see in these last 3 weeks and how the actual promos are evolving into more and more and more, that you can hear the different sides in the fighting and her finally telling them to stop. Like this is like a art mimicking life kind of thing for her.
Bingo. That's why it hits so hard.
Yes.
Yep. If you only watch the wrestling and don't know nothing about backstage, you're like, oh man, I remember when she destroyed the Bayley buddies and she switched over to but when you're listening to what she's saying, and because we know about, her overthinking herself or not feeling like she's worthy, or turning heel and not knowing what character she's supposed to be, so she came out there looking more like her dog died and actually as a bad guy, or you know what I mean, a heel. Tremendous, man. Like I said, she's 3 out of 3. These promos get better every single week, and this is one of those you can't see it's coming. Maybe somebody out there feels like they know exactly what's coming. I don't see this at all, and I don't want to figure it out.
I think it's this. I really do. I think the old Bayley is coming back. I think she's gonna grow her hair out, wear her little pigtails, and I think she's gonna fake everybody out for a moment. Now, is it gonna be like a back and forth of split personalities? Because right now sounds like she's just Bayley with 2 other personalities in her head. So for me, because she's telling them to stop and be quiet, so it's 3 of them total. I think that this is time for her to go back to being Bayley. Why not? Soccer mom is not it. I mean, she did her ding dong long enough. I think that initially for the first stretch, I don't even want to put months on it because I'm not good with time. You always say that. But that first stretch of it, it was just soccer mom and she was boring and didn't know who she was. She finally kind of got into that character and made something of it, like for damn sure. I don't want to take that away from her, but it just felt like it took so long for her to get there. But give us the true Bayley, now Auntie Pam, with more psychology, with more at bats in the ring, dealing with the emotions, the ups and downs. Bring me back another Bayley that has that conviction 10 years later. Give me that.
This is where you always see like our different tastes on things. Like, I don't want realistic. Yes. But yeah, I don't want realistic. I want her to kind of lean into the split personality thing. I want her to see her go from Bayley A to Bayley B to Bayley C, maybe in the same, like the match ring said, maybe one week she's a hugger, next week she's ding dong, like the inner conflict. I want to see all of this play out in our on our TV screen. I want to see how it looks in the ring. Like, how does she, shuffle from personality to personality? Is there a difference in the ring work and et cetera? Because we all know she's a very smart worker. So I think that she would definitely, you will see some differences in the way she wrestles. And I think that's what the story would be. I don't think the story would just be about the moves and the matches. I think it would be about her battling her internal, right, in these matches to try to get these wins, etc. I think it's going to be very interesting. I want them to go all the way with this character stuff, much like we saw with Naomi, right? And this is a perfect time for Bayley because, like Naomi was such magic right out there, right? You had to give her time. Now, you got 6 hours of television on these shows, right? So I guess you had room for both. But wow, you think about there's definitely a void for somebody who can do awesome character work. I'm looking to see what she can do as a character. I want to see her bring to life.
So you want to see like Three Faces of Foley kind of a thing?
Ooh.
Split personalities?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But better.
Is that what you're looking at?
But better.
Mine was more
Foley did
separated.
it. But Foley did it back in the day, right? But I didn't see a big difference between Mankind and like Cactus Jack. I feel like his personalities
Barbed wire
were pretty similar.
no
the only one that was different. Yeah, the only one that was different was like Do Love. Like, right? Yep. A lot of them seem different. But Bayley can really lean into different aspects of her personality, which I love to see play out.
So Rhodesia, you were like, I want it back to OG. E is like, I want all three.
But what I'm saying is, no, I do want them separated, but the full story is that we do see both sides, not at the same time, but I do want to see just a transition of her going from Bayley to Ding Dong to who she really is. Go ahead.
See, I don't want that. And just to what E said, you talk about just how different our fandoms are. 3 people, 3 completely different ideas. Rhodesia wants OG. You want, combination 3. I want something completely different. I want who she is because she's fighting this. And now that looks completely different than anything she's been before. So once again, I think she can pull that off.
So you saying
we've seen it now.
Who she is right now in the room.
Right. And then where does Lyra fit in at? Lyra, you don't know if she's being full of it, or she really is worried about Bayley now.
I do think
because she had a different tone this week than she did last week. The one last week was more of like, y'all figure that out. Like, I don't know what's going on with her. This week, it seemed like she was kind of like, all right, I think she's tripping a little bit. Ain't nobody gonna check on her? So, I'm interested in that. I'm interested in when do we see her? Because, you figure we can get a few more weeks of these promos. For sure, a few more weeks.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm very intrigued. And and every time I see these promos, I think about what Triple H said in that press conference at WrestleMania about, don't worry about Bayley, she'll be fine. Or she'll be more than fine, trust me, or something like that. And we know they do plan ahead. But I think I may have even said this last week on the show. If this was what they were thinking about and planning, I get it. Right? You get it. Yeah, it sucks in the moment to miss out on a WrestleMania match. That shit don't matter. What's today? August 26th? That shit don't matter August 26th. Right? And that's part of the story. She even used it in her promo package. Like, I didn't make WrestleMania. I wasn't good enough to get on the WrestleMania card. But in terms of where she's going to be at right now, doesn't matter at all. So shout out to them. Shout out to them for coming up with what looks to be the most interesting, and this is not a shot at Bayley, but the most interesting she's been in a very long time.
Because
if not, maybe
care.
the most she's ever been
we care
interesting-wise on WTV.
And we are like, oh my God. Yeah, Bayley, that's kind of how we feel. Yeah, Bayley, you get it too. Yeah, Bayley, like this is it. I can now invest my emotion into her because it's there. Again, what we talk about with Damian Priest and we talk about Tiffy, like get us something to make it feel like it's believable for you too, because we can feel that. We can't maybe quite see it. We probably can't really quite hear it. It's just on another dimension is how we feel about it.
Speaking of feeling and hearing, we talked a little bit about Roman earlier in his promo on Raw. We got to shout out Bronson Reed, or I got to shout out Bronson Reed. Holy hell was I impressed with his promo. That's a big spot to be in. Yeah, you're not face to face with Roman. You're in the aisle and he's in the ring. So a little bit different energy, of course. But 10 out of 10, man. He more than held his own. I mean, he's not a promo guy. You don't look at Bronson Reed and say he's a promo guy. But if you can hold your own with Roman Reigns, and hold your own meaning he did his job, right? He didn't seem out of place. He didn't seem like he was nervous or he knew he wasn't supposed to be there. For that reaction of that crowd to give to Roman that entire night, for him to come out, and yes, he's got Heyman back there.
And that's
but when it was time for Bronson to own his time, man, bravo, dude. He owned it. I was really happy to see that for him. Because if you can do that, you're in a really good spot. And for them to trust him to do that. Right? This wasn't just he hits his line about, I steal your gym shoes, I'm the tribal thief. No, he actually cut a promo. And what I was really impressed with was the crowd was chanting it sometimes. And a lot of times with, like younger talent, they have issues with when to stop with the promo, when to, maybe hold off, maybe go a little faster, maybe throw off the cadence so the crowd, stops trying to hijack the segment. And he did a really, really strong job. Bravo.
It is so interesting how we come on this show and he talks about it all the time, like how we view wrestling because we've been watching it for so long and kind of how critical I can be with a lot of people at all times. I felt like Bronson Reed, I didn't expect anything less from him. That's what he needed to do. Yes, he's not in the ring exactly with Roman Reigns. He is there next to Paul Heyman, that if anything were to happen, Paul Heyman can come to his defense. But as you put it, you're right. How many times have we seen with CM Punk, with John Cena, that Roman Reigns, when you get there in the ring with somebody or you going back and forth, LA Knight, you just get choked up. You get caught up in the aura and then you don't know how to make it and pass it on the other side. So that's a really great observation for me because I'm like, no, that's what I expect from him. But in reality, that is a huge spot. In reality, he did a really good job. So like you said, bravo to him. But again, I didn't expect anything less from him. But I also think that Roman would have made sure and Paul Heyman would have made sure if it was going awry that they would take care of it.
Yeah, Bronson's my guy. I think he's been doing a phenomenal job for a number of years since they brought him back. They released him, brought him back. I thought he's done a phenomenal job, and they should continue to protect him because he's lost a lot of big matches, but they kind of keep him strong enough to where the next time he goes out there, you feel like he can do it. He always seems like a threat, regardless if he doesn't kind of win these big matches. But for me, like Roman, man, he just popped me when he was like, wait a minute, this guy is Samoan? Did you guys know that? Samoan? That means your ass is mine. Yep. I'm just got a kick out of that.
Love it.
No, I mean, it was great, man. And just to think, we don't think this match is out of place for Roman Reigns. Right, there's more people complaining about, and now granted, Cena's retiring, but there's more people complaining about Cena taking on Logan Paul Sunday than they are Roman Reigns taking on Bronson Reed. And we know we have Roman for a limited amount of dates every single year. That speaks volumes. Something else that spoke volumes too.
Yes.
So we're watching Raw, and shout out to Matt. Young legend turned 18 Monday.
Happy birthday.
So he slept through the whole damn day for the most part, Sunday and Monday. That's neither here nor there. But so he wakes up like in the middle of Raw, and it's the main event. Bron worked the main event, right? Breakker.
Yes.
He worked again.
LA Knight, right?
LA Knight. Yeah. He didn't say this, but this is what he meant. He said, watching Bron Breakker, he's like, you can tell they're just like waiting for him to like be the man in the company. What he meant, and I didn't say anything, I was like, absolutely, we know he's gonna be like the man. What he meant was, it feels like Bron Breakker is in a holding pattern right now. And that shouldn't be the case. You can't push everybody at once. I get that, right? We just talked about Bronson Reed having a match with Roman Reigns.
Right.
Massive spot. Seth is Seth. He's the champion now. But it does feel like Bron Breakker, even though he's wrestling every single week on TV, putting on good matches, doing what he needs to do, it does feel like he's in a little bit of a holding pattern. When the night after WrestleMania, when he showed up and speared Punk or Roman, whichever one that was, he took
both of them, I think,
the hood off, and we saw it was Bronson Reed or Bron Breakker getting down with Heyman and Seth. We all lost our collective minds because we're like, oh, Bron's out of here. It's still early. I know that part. But if you would have told me 4 months after that, 5 months after that, I would feel like Bron is in a little bit of a holding pattern, and he's probably where he was 5 months ago when he hit that spear that night, I'd have been like, no way in hell.
In all fairness, though, and this was kind of your take that you had a few months ago as well, that you weren't happy with the trajectory of how the vision at that time, you didn't have a name, where they were going. I was cool with it. I'm cool with the pacing on it. You weren't quite there with the pacing. I think in all fairness, we have to take out a couple of the months out of there because we were kind of in this holding pattern of them as a group. Then Seth went away for 3.5 weeks, I think, something like that. And then he comes back. So I feel like part of that, 5 to 6 weeks of that, could have, maybe not quite 6, maybe 4 to 5 weeks of that, maybe was just, hey, just go out there, get some exposure, get some at-bats, and then we can keep on moving. I think if we were to cut back right before Seth went out injured, I feel like their pacing was really good. I don't have a problem with that. And again, it could also be maybe Matthew's anticipation for him, or his expectation for Bron. Or it could be a lot of people who feel the same way. I still am okay with the pacing with the whole group because right now both Brons are important. And what I was worried about for a moment was Breakker was going to super shine over everybody, even over Seth. And I thought that in order to make this a really solid group, Seth is going to always be Seth. Let's make sure both the Brons are up there. And through why Bron is wrestling Roman and how it doesn't feel like it's out of place is because they have protected Bronson Reed with him killing people with his tsunami bomb. Like, again, call it Paul Heyman, call it whoever, however they're booking both the Brons, but in this case here, Bronson Reed, they're doing it so it is believable. So to me, I would rather take the holding pattern of Bron Breakker, knowing that the whole vision as a whole, each person can be a dominant force, and not Bronson Reed taking the backseat to Bron Breakker. I'm okay with that. I am okay with having it more blended out than just Bron Breakker right away, because he has so many years, barring any career-ending injuries, he has it. We don't have to push it that fast right now. I'm okay with pacing as it is.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think he's in a holding pattern at all. I think he's on a good trajectory as far as where he should be in another year or so out of this. I think you look at kind of like Triple H, Ric Flair's group. What was Evolution with Randy and Batista, right? Those guys look like studs, right? Now they look like the future of the business. When they got there, they didn't automatically just hot shot them to the top. Like, they slowly built them up, gave them some credibility by, rubbing, elbows with Flair and Triple H, and had them in big, meaningful moments, and also main events, conditioning the audience to see these guys and know that they belong in the top front. I think it'd be a disservice if you just shoehorn, Bron Breakker in the main event situation with so many heavy hitters in front of him right now. I think this is a great job to kind of just slow it down, take it easy, continue to build him up, his finisher up, his athleticism up, and then all of a sudden, when it's time to turn on Seth, boom, it's ready to go. Like, right, I think it makes most sense for him to kind of slow this down and play it the right way, because they have the time to do so. I don't think right now he's ready to be more than what he's been given right now. Like, I don't think, like, can he be the IC champion right now? Absolutely. Like, right? Who's Dominic's the IC? Like, certainly he could be an IC, but we're talking about this man as a potential world champion. Like, right? And not just a one-time world champion, a future all-star champion multiple times, right? Like, you don't need to rush that. Like, take time, build him the correct way, condition the audience, let him continue to grow as a character and as a personality to where he doesn't need Heyman, right? Because that's Bron's next evolution is going to be as a babyface. When he's that guy where everybody's cheering, like the running spear and etc. Like, that's his next evolution. He's going to need to be able to stand on his own. He's going to be able to command that microphone. I don't think he can do that right now, but I definitely can see him doing that. Give him another 6 months, maybe 8 months, and see how it plays out.
Than that. Yeah. But I find this also this is so cool. Not that I find this interesting. I think it's so cool that they mentioned on Raw that 5 years ago this week was when Paul Heyman and Roman like officially got together and made the bloodline. And I remember shortly after that, we were in the third inning or whatever. It was the third, not the seventh inning. We're in the third inning. And it is so funny because we're like, man, you're just in the third inning. And I remember for years, we're like, oh, what inning are we in now? What inning are we in now? And no, it's not the bloodline anymore, but we know it's built around this family. And that's 5 years ago. So I just thought that was pretty cool that while it's been a full 5 years from the origination of Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns creating the bloodline.
Well, to that point, I just want to know who just woke up from a coma or something in WWE Creative. Why are we getting the promos with Jay and Roman Reigns we should have been getting 6+ months ago?
Because Roman wasn't there.
What is happening right now? I enjoy it. I love it, actually. I love Roman out there co-signing Jay. They were out there yeeting. They had a backstage segment that was fantastic.
Yep. With
Roman hyping up Jay, finishing with yeet, doing everything that we asked for, like, at the beginning of the year. Like, what happened? Did somebody was this a situation of somebody, like, legit was like, oh, shit, we missed this whole thing we said we were going to do with Roman and the bloodline. Let's just get to it when he comes back off of PTO. And now they're just throwing it in?
I guess. Or they thought maybe the Cena year was going to be so much more bigger and grand and take up the block A of everybody's recap show every single week. And that they was like, oh, shit, it ain't quite working this way, so let's bring him back.
But no, Rody, you said it in jest, but I think that's absolutely correct. Like, Roman ain't there. Like, you think about, like, if he was there more time, you could tell that story. Because, like, when he first came back, right, he just came came back some time ago, right? He still was kind of the old Roman, kind of changing a little bit, trying to concede to where I'm not the head of the table anymore, and it's somebody else's time. Jay's grown. He wasn't ready to give it up. Like, right, he wasn't ready to share the spotlight, right? So now you tell a story of over time, Roman Reigns is softening. Like, right, it's just that unfortunately he's not around to tell the story. Now, I'm listening to Cody Rhodes' podcast because, like, I'm actually kind of getting.
I told you about this Cody podcast. It's
I'm
good,
kind of
right?
getting wrestling out a little bit. Oh, it's really good. I'm kind of like, I don't like, we watch so much wrestling. I don't want to watch other wrestling stuff. But Kevin Owens' conversation was amazing. Mm-hmm. Like, right, Becky Lynch conversation was amazing. I lost my train of thought. The coffee's wearing off, y'all.
No, you're fine.
The coffee is wearing off now.
He's thinking about the podcast. He's like,
no.
What did he say something in the podcast?
So the Roman piece, right? Just the Roman piece. If you remember, just of course chime in. The Roman piece of it. I get what you're saying about he wasn't around, but they skipped part of the story. He was there. This should have been happening around War Games time. Roman came out last night and cut a promo.
That's fair. Yes,
Roman came out last night and cut a promo as if this shit was the night after WrestleMania.
No,
I was saying before
that. I was saying before that.
When he lost the championship.
God damn it. Yeah, no, he had the conversation was around Punk and him. That's the story they were telling, right? Roman still was kind of holding on to a spot. What I'm about to say, Cody and Becky was having a conversation. They had I guess they all have buses or whatever, right? And so they voted on driver of the year. Right, so like I guess the driver.
She was giving my man the business,
like right,
and so go hard on him like that.
Becky went in on Roman's driver. Cody did a little bit too.
How the fuck did he win? Rhodesia didn't see it. She's like, how the fuck did he win driver of the year? Roman's never at work.
Never at work. That's where I was going with Roman. He ain't never at work, so it's hard to tell these stories with him. Like, dude. Right, you only have a limited time to when he can tell a story, and that might only be for pay-per-view. It might be the build to the pay-per-view. Typically, it's just the build to the pay-per-view and the out for men, right? So you can only tell so many stories in that time period, especially when there's so much story to tell. That's the thing. There's so many story elements and so many, fruit hanging from Roman. You can't pick them all at the same time, like, right? However, like, when it's there, it's there.
I do think what we would be able to do in January or February. Maybe it should be a little bit longer. Because I'm hoping this is the worst year WWE is going to have storyline wise in a long time. We will be able to imagine we like rewrote some of these storylines. We're going to see the Cena horrendous heel run, rewrite that, even knowing like, hey, Rock's not available. How would you rewrite that better? Okay, we would do this, great. But just how happened with where the storyline was with the bloodline. And when Roman lost, I am documenting this podcast saying, I can't wait because he is about to open up a whole nother layer of his character that he's going to be even more beloved by the fan, even more must-see TV. We are just now getting to that 16, 18 months later where we could have gotten there before. I get your point about there's a lot of story to tell, but we all are still missing, and it's there now, but we are all still missing him really anointing Jey Uso the way he should have.
But he's not. That ship
but he should have. But he should have.
Pal, but
we are still missing. No, I mean, there's a few things that they should have done properly, and they just missed on.
The ship is held. Exactly.
Yeah, they just missed on. What else? What else do you guys want to talk about? I got a few things, but I don't want to step on anything you guys have.
Oh yes, I got a good
talk
question.
a little bit about NXT. We got to talk a little bit about Forbidden Door. We got to do our own preview of Clash in Paris.
Oh shoot, yeah, we got to get to it then. I had a question for y'all.
Oh, I got one too. Oh, okay. Actually, I have one, and it's surrounding the bloodline. I'm sorry. I just saw this like just now or a few minutes ago. Okay. Either we can deep dive it or we can just give our answer and keep it moving. Before I give you the question,
okay,
I need you guys to vote. Do we deep dive this or do we just give our answer and keep it moving? And we can never bring this topic up again.
For at least a few episodes. Let's not deep dive it because we still have NXT, we still have AEW.
This may be worth skipping something else. Just let you know.
This could be Block A?
Yeah.
All right, deep dive it. That's my vote. What you got, E?
E, what'd you say?
Well, I say we got 30 minutes left in the podcast, and you mentioned like 25 different things y'all want to talk about. So y'all choose wisely.
Well, I told you, man, you can hop off, dude. Okay? You can hop
off.
No.
I see, at some point, I got to start going back to producing these shows properly. We can't be doing 4-hour podcasts.
Shit,
if we going to do 4-hour podcasts, we need to do
what they want.
We need
4 hours, man.
Look, 4 hours, brother. We need
look. We going 4 hours.
This is what we talk about.
So
look, freaks,
and
y'all know.
Pops up right now.
Y'all know y'all peoples. All right, y'all want 5-hour podcasts, but generally most people don't. Like they get intimidated seeing these long. If we gonna do it, we can just break them parts. We'll deep dive it on the Patreon. We can do a vote, whatever the case may be. But we need to bring in some more viewers. And I got feedback like, hey, maybe you guys should do 1 to 2 parters. You plan on doing 3-hour shows.
So what's your vote?
He said all of it.
I say we do part 1 and part 2.
Oh no, I'm talking about just for the question. Oh, so you're saying just give you the answer and that's it, right?
Yeah,
no deep dive. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. I saw this on Twitter. This is a question for Roman bloodline fans only. Would you rather have A, Roman gets his revenge on Seth at WrestleMania 42 and close the chapter, or B, Roman reclaims his WWE title by beating Cody in the trilogy at WrestleMania 42?
We don't need a deep dive this. I've been very boisterous on how I felt about this forever, for the last 2 years. Give me Roman, Cody 3 now. Get that over with. When Roman is done with his part-time, full-time career, he needs to finish that with the most important person in wrestling to him, which is Seth Rollins. So give me Cody Roman first at WrestleMania 42. Roman and Seth, big bang, bang, should be the last of it. And both of them probably could go out there. No, Seth probably wrestle a bit longer. But Roman, Seth should be last for Roman as far as big campaigns.
Okay. You kind of deep dived it. We just needed your answer.
Oh.
But it's fine.
Yeah, I saw this question too. I didn't think it was honestly worthy to deep dive. For me personally, I think they hold off
for you, brother.
Yeah, for me personally, no, we hold off on Cody and Roman. I don't think that match has enough steam right now. I think there's more juice in a Seth and Roman match than it is in Cody and Roman part 2. I think I would rather see, like, right, and you listen to the Cody podcast. You never know. My guy say he liked to lie. He's not interested in being heel anytime soon.
Shut the fuck up,
Like,
Cody
right?
Rhodes.
That's what he said.
Even when he said that, I was like,
Yeah.
all right, man, you got it.
He's not
You got
interested
it,
no
brother.
time soon, right? But I would rather see.
But you gotta say why he's not interested in it. What did he say? This is the Cody lie. Why did he say he's not interested in being a heel?
Because that's not him.
He said, "'Cause I don't think I'll be good at it." All right, Cody.
That's not him.
Did he forget we've seen it already? Did we?
Well, hey, listen. Look, my man say like to lie, but heel Cody's in the past was what? Mid-Carters. Like, right?
You think Bullet Club was kind of mid-Carter?
Hey, listen, he wasn't the main guy. Kenny still was there.
Yeah, that was good shit, though, man.
Well, Cody's
Kenny
been
was
a heel in my
Kenny
household.
Kenny was there. I know, of course. Like, Kenny was there. So he's never been the main guy as a heel, right? He didn't become a main eventer until this version of Cody. But I have to say this. I would rather see Roman Cody 3 winning if Cody becomes a heel. Like, right now, you got that dynamic of babyface Roman, heel Cody with Brandy by his side. That's when I'm ready to see that match.
Damn
but
it,
right now, the story is with Roman and Seth. Absolutely.
Damn it, E. Now the question is, will we rather see face versus face? Or would you rather see heel Cody versus babyface Roman? I think I may rather see babyface versus babyface. This is easily the best opportunity they have to ever recreate Hogan Warrior.
But based off of the
this ain't-
interesting comment that Roman made, that won't be the case.
Nah, this ain't Hogan Warrior, because Warrior was the upcoming, right? He was the guy that came from the bottom to the. He was Drake back in the day, like, right? And so he had the crowd behind him. Hogan was the guy that still was on top. Like, this was before people started booing Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, right? He still was cemented as a top babyface in the company, right? Still on top. But you had this Ultimate Warrior coming from the bottom with a lot of steam, right? Warrior looked like he was the guy for the future. Like, that's not what this story would be. Babyface versus babyface.
Well, I'm talking more of like popularity, though.
Cody right now is more so like he like almost like 1990s Hawk. Like, he teetering, but from losing the actual audience a little bit.
Only from that crowd on Monday.
Bit.
I don't think, man. We've seen Cody turn crowds in real time. He turned the Mania crowd.
But listen, more so
pissing on themselves.
More so this year than last year. You're seeing more Cody boos, or you're hearing, a little bit. It's not John Cena, but you hear it a little bit. You hear a little bit of rumblings coming, right? You hear a little bit of rumblings.
It would still be baby versus baby. Yeah, the crowd would probably pick a side. But if we could get to a point where the crowd would legit be like split like 50-50, 60-40. Man,
when have we seen that since? When have we seen that since Hogan and Warrior?
Hogan and Rock.
Legit.
Rock, but it was probably like 70-30 for Hogan. What other big match?
It's a hard thing to do. It's a hard thing.
It is really hard.
I mean, you had Cena the first one. You had Cena the first in a lifetime.
Yeah.
No, like, I would say people was kind of at that time. Right?
Same. You're right.
Yeah, people started.
Cena was trying to.
Yeah, they was trying to turn him.
Cena was the heel. Damn, that's a great question. Was there one?
It's hard.
How about an AEW? Was there one in AEW? One of Kenny and Hangman's, maybe? But I don't think.
No, I think probably closest is Swerve. I think closest is Swerve and a Hangman. Especially on that last one that they did.
Swerve was a heel.
But as far as the fans loving them.
No, I'm talking about legit baby.
We're talking about
how
the book.
Got it.
Yeah, how the book. Yeah,
talking legit baby first baby.
Got it.
But this would be the best opportunity to have the biggest baby first baby match. Unless
I think this would be another Rock and Hogan situation.
It is. Rock was a baby going into it.
But Hogan was a heel.
No, Hogan was a heel. He was NWO, remember?
Yeah, Hogan was heel. 100% he was a heel.
He's Hollywood. Yeah, he's Hollywood.
He's always been. To me. Hey, rest in peace, Hulk Hogan.
Hey, did y'all hear about the Hogan thing?
What about, like, they're saying there could be some malpractice in it?
Yeah, that's terrible, man.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible.
I didn't read up on it. I saw the headline and I was like, oh boy. Say, oh boy. All right. I didn't get my answer intentionally, so we're moving on. NXT. Can we hit that real quick?
Sure.
For this, you had a question.
I sure did.
Earlier, you sent E and I a text earlier
Sure
today.
did. And it was inspired by, oh no, not NXT. It was inspired by AEW. So we'll go NXT first.
And you said in the text message, question for the pod, your wrestling take that everybody disagrees with.
Yeah, okay.
And I said, then you said, my answer was heavily inspired by something I saw over the weekend. I said, me too, but no way we're talking about the same thing, but it may be connected.
And I said, there's no way in hell that it's connected at all.
Would you like to give yours first, or
No, I want to hear yours first.
I have like 1A and then I have like 1D.
My 1A through 1D is all the same thing.
Okay. I have two different ones though, because the one I really want to go with and like just say somebody out there agrees with me. The vast majority probably doesn't. But then there's one that could be controversial. That would be like a real like thing.
Go ahead.
I may hold that one in the tuck because I just want to have fun with this one, kind of.
Okay. So what is it?
Mine is Booker T. Absolutely the worst fucking wrestling announcer in the history of professional wrestling. He's my 1E. My God, I have not watched NXT in at least 2 months, probably. Like legit, we just haven't had time, right? We record on Tuesday nights, and life has been so busy. I don't have time to go back to watch NXT because I'm watching AEW now, right? So the Wednesdays where I was watching NXT, I'm now watching Dynamite and et cetera, et cetera. I haven't heard Booker T in a long time. I was ready to, any hair I would have had, I was ready to fucking pull my hair out. Listening to him call those matches. He is horrible. People may think he's funny. Hey, look, if he was only on there for one match a night, I'm cool. I'm good with it. If he did the JR treatment, God bless. Yeah. That man, and it didn't help that Corey wasn't on commentary to kind of like bounce a little bit off of that. To have to hear him call, it was god awful. Yep. Take that man off of commentary. Unless it's supposed to be a joke. Take him where Pat McAfee's at. Take them both. Oh man, I hope Booker T said he what did Pat say? He was not stressed out. Who was he?
Something along those lines.
Pat said, burnt out. Burnt out. Why the fuck ain't Booker T been burnt out yet?
Because let me stop. I'm gonna just stop right there. Because I love the guy.
So that's 1A.
Okay.
But I do have a 1D.
That's my 1E. That's my 1E.
What is yours?
I hate.
That's a lot of hate.
Joint manipulation matches. If you don't get Zack Snyder, whatever his name is, up out of here. I thought when he was like off of AEW,
Zack Sabre Jr.
There we go. When I thought he was off of AEW and went back to New Japan, I'm like, bravo! I don't have to see this and that for 17 minutes nonstop. I took it with Bryan Danielson because Bryan Danielson also because when he strike it would be there and so he still had some of those moves. So when he put some suplexes on you, you're like, okay, but he was really joint manipulated too.
And shout out Bryan, tremendous on commentary this weekend.
Sounds really good. But my God, I'm like, what in the hell? I see ain't shit changed with Zack Sabre Jr. Get that shit out of here. I hate joint manipulated matches.
All right, so
where's E?
E said you don't have one.
Yeah, like everyone agrees to me. I don't have nothing that's out of the way.
I don't even know if I want to say 1D.
Come on, say it.
No, because I don't.
Well, you have to because E didn't follow directions, and we have to have 3 different ones on the show.
Okay. So your question was...
I think this is great. I don't have outrageous fan takes. I have very grounded takes. I don't really have anything specific.
Your wrestling take that everybody disagrees with.
Don't have one.
This is 1D, which is probably 1A, but 1A is Booker T by far. Okay?
Booker T was just like a given. We can take that off.
Obafemi is not as can't miss as everybody is saying he is. That is no knock on Obafemi. It's zero knock.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
But the way people are talking about him is like he hasn't been protected every step of the way. And the majority of wrestlers are protected. You're put in a position to be the best, or you're put in a position to have somebody else be better or look better than you. I get that. They are doing an excellent job with pushing him. I think he is going to be a tremendous talent. But to say he is can't miss, I would argue and say, when have you seen him in a position yet where he could miss? They put Bron Breakker in those positions. They put Carmelo Hayes in those positions. They put Trick Williams in those positions. And I'm only using those three because those were the last three big NXT talents, right?
Mm-hmm.
Women they've put in position. And not a position to see if you are going to fail, but in a position to see what you are going to do. And I would argue, and I just said I haven't watched NXT in 2 months, but I have watched all of his big matches, and I have kept a pretty good eye on his promos and things of that nature. And I would say they are doing a tremendous job, which they should, of protecting him. Brock Lesnar, when he first came up, the next big thing, they protected him as the monster. But I saw so much this weekend of he's a can't miss, he's can't miss, he's can't miss. You would think he shouldn't miss. But if you told Obafemi to go out there and go cut a promo and then follow it up with whatever he hasn't done yet, there could be a chance he misses. Look at Roman for years. We saw Roman in the Shield and was like, oh man, dude, look at this guy. He was missing. And yes, it was due to the booking. But the point is, people are kind of talking about him as if he has not been super protected. And I don't know if because maybe they don't know what they're looking for to know that he's been super protected. But Oba has been super protected. Now, every time he goes out there, has he hit a home run? He absolutely has. Absolutely has. That match he had with Javon was fantastic. Wonderful. I had even tweeted before the match, hey, this has the opportunity to be the most fun match of the weekend. I think it was the most fun match of the weekend. You got great producers down there. We are going to tell the David versus Goliath story. It was all there. Tremendous, fun match. I thought it was fantastic. But that's like my 1D. And this is, once again, not an indictment on saying he's missing anything per se. I just know what I'm looking at. I know what I'm seeing. And I just think we have to be careful of how he is the most can't miss person since, and then they named somebody from like 40 years ago.
I'm going to disagree with you, but I will put an asterisk on it. And the reason why I disagree with you is because this is still developmental. So they're saying this is can't miss on a developmental level. That's all. Like if he was on main roster,
you sure about that?
I don't know. I'm okay. When I heard that he's unmissable or whatever the wording you use, I'm taking that as him being on NXT.
Is unmissable even a word? Let's see. Go ahead.
I think
that's
so.
what I'm saying.
I think
is
so.
It unmissable?
I think it is, Rhodesia.
Remember when I talk about language? If you say something, we talked about this like on episode
unmissable.
20. If
so
you
good,
say something,
should not be missed.
If you say
it's
something
so clear,
and people understand what you're saying,
yeah,
that is language. That is a word. That is how language was created. Enough people understood what you meant, and that was forged into language. Unmissable.
Did you know real quick what a word is for unmissable if you didn't want to use unmissable? What's another word you can use?
Like a synonym?
Essential, imperative, crucial, vital, indispensable, necessary, important, required, crucial, and essential.
So I would say all of those would be Obafemi right now in NXT. So that's why I said I will disagree with you, but I'm going to put that asterisk there because he is still in developmental. So I am grading him on a curve there because it is developmental.
And this is why this show is great, because it's not just this segment. It's just that you guys, especially Matt like the professor, right? But at the same time, he says like the most outrageous shit that I ever heard in my life sometimes. Like
told you one day.
Oh,
it was her question. It was her question. It has to be something wild. It ain't gonna be nothing like normal.
Like the reason why it's outrageous because like Matt has been watching wrestling for he and I for combined 400 years, man.
There we go. We started with 2, we up to 400.
I was just 2 of you now. Look, first it was 3 of us at 200 years. Look, now it's 2 of you at 400 years.
It's so emotionally intelligent, business intelligent. But then he says stuff like this, and you be like, God damn, where this come from, Matt? Because you can't be the same, Matt. To say stuff like that. Because that's an outrageous take. You know good and well that he has all the... You talk about Brock Lesnar, right? I hate when people do this, right? When we're the black something, like, right? But, think about... He's almost like the equivalent of, like, the black Lesnar, like, right? You think about what Brock Lesnar was when he first started. The dude couldn't talk. He had to put Heyman with him. He was athletic, right? But I wouldn't say necessarily his ring logic was good, right? He was impressive to look at, like. But you look at Oba, he has all the same ingredients. Like he's a big guy. He's one of those old school things the pros say, like they pass the look test, right? When they're in the airport, do they turn heads, right? Mm-hmm. He's a big old hoss. He's a big, meaty man. And so when you see the guy, he passes the look test. He can move. He's athletic. He can go in the ring to a degree. He can probably be led, right? We saw a fantastic match with Javon Evans, which was fantastic. I didn't really even want to watch the match. I was trying my hardest to be distracted, but my eyes kept going back to the match. And it wasn't just Javon. Like, Oma was doing a lot of things in that match that was really good. So you think about the character, his presence, his walk, and everything else, and you can say that this guy, like, I don't see how he's not a can't miss. It's crazy hearing that from like one of the smartest men I know.
Dude, but why are you trying not to watch the match? Why are you going out of your way to say I'm not going to watch this match? You hate wrestling, don't you?
So I think he just kind of maybe proved the point. No, but I'm saying as far as he wanted to miss it.
Him being can't miss, and he still. Hey, I tell you what, if it was Trick Williams in there, you would have missed that match. You'd whatever you was trying to do, you would have kept doing it.
Let me tell you something about Trick. Let me tell you, like Trick on the mic is one thing. Like, yeah, you're right. His matches ain't it. His matches ain't it for me.
Yeah, no,
but look, you know who else? Like Triple H, Kane, Big Show, all them type of wrestlers like that, man, ain't for me. Like, I don't like that style that they wrestle. But Oba, man, that dude got it, man. Like he can go from different gears in the match, man. Like, man, that was probably, and maybe you gotta prop up Javon Evans, like
absolutely.
Right,
absolutely, man.
But man, they were going at it in that ring. Like
it was such a fun match. Like psychology, right? Everything they did made sense. Fighting from underneath. Oh, this was baby first baby. And they did it perfectly, right? I mean, of course, it ain't like the level of Roman and Cody, but you know what I mean? Like, you had one guy that everybody loves in Oba. You got one guy that everybody loves in Javon. There was never a point of, any of the, you talked about tropes earlier. Is one going to cheat to win the championship and then they don't cheat because they're the good guy and then that's how they lose? No, man. Oba flew Javon over that top rope, threw him to the table, and still hit him with the finish.
Yeah.
And then still hit him with the finish. Still hit him with the finish, man. Like, look, I just don't see how you don't think that's a guy that, like, so he could potentially miss, like, but it'd be a travesty.
That's all I'm saying.
But that's the case with so many people. All right, so to pin that on that guy, I think that's crazy talk.
Only because I saw so much this past weekend, man. It was all because of the damn entrance. That's probably what got me. Was his entrance, right? He comes out there bopping, and everybody's just like, "Oh my god, he's so can't miss." And I'm just like, over an entrance?
I only hate right now. There's only like one or two people who right now in professional wrestling that has like a TV deal. I feel is can't miss. There's only a couple people.
Who?
And I might have added one too many people. Right now, as it stands, it is probably only Roman Reigns. Like, I love Adam Hangman Page over there in AEW, but I could probably miss the show tonight. I wouldn't want to miss the show, but I probably could miss the show tonight. Dynamite could be, but I think right now maybe Cena because of what he's at right now.
You're looking at it from a literal perspective.
That's how I'm taking it.
Yeah, no. How they're saying it is he's a can't miss talent, meaning that no matter what, he is the next big thing. You can't, whatever you do, you can't mess this up. That is how they're trying to say it. Not like, oh, he's on TV, you got to tune in to watch.
Well,
but
so
that's also a good question too, because I would say Roman is can't miss for me.
Right. But the point of
I
you
don't even
mentioned
know
about
if Cena's can't miss. He's only got 10. No, he
no,
is.
he is.
He is.
Yeah, I was about to
Because he's
argue
only got
on
10
that
left.
one.
Yeah.
But let's be completely
I just need to see
honest.
the last one. I'm good on that journey.
In full and good booking to great booking, and you have somebody behind you because you mentioned Oba being protected. There is no doubt that he is, and I would like to hear retort of if he is or if he isn't protected. But shouldn't you be, if they build you to be unmissable, if you have at least good to great booking behind you and you're protected, they can write for that. Just like how we talked about, can we get to Cody and Roman 3 right now? Probably not right this second, but that's when they write for that. We still have, 7 months until WrestleMania. We could still write to that point. So for me, can't anybody who maybe have the look and can talk somewhat on the mic can't miss?
Yes and no. Just because they could say, no matter, even if you screw over this guy's booking so bad, he's still going to get through the booking. He is so good. He is so can't miss. And no matter what position you put him in, he's going to be able to thrive and get through it.
We have Carmelo Hayes, but he's not protected. Well, let me stop because I still see him on TV.
Yeah.
So I'm
and we didn't even get to last week. You talking about some of the Miz. We were talking about the most underutilized. I let that shit rock.
No, but
because we were having a good conversation.
Fan, I think people will put. I'm talking about
the Miz.
No, listen.
Hey, Rody, before you go though, I'm gonna tell you something, man. You were right. Guess what? Cody and Becky agreed with you, Rhodesia. They said that Miz is one of the most underrated and important wrestlers in the company. They said that he is underwhelmingly great at what he does. And he said that he is so great at what he does and so consistent that we as fans take him for granted. Because they said this is two of the greatest workers, right? They said that he can make anybody look good in the ring. So Rhodesia, you was right.
And I just looked at it based off of the fans. If you had to write down your favorite fans, Miz will be consistently at the bottom of the list. He just would be. That's why I say that he was underrated.
All right. The other thing I want to talk really quick just about from NXT. Good show. Once again, you can absolutely see the stark contrast of to me and the men and women undercard main event. Like we talked about, they smoked it. Chelsea Green. If I had the quick promo I cut on her a couple months ago, I would just press play again. She is so fucking incredible at everything she does. And what I was most impressed about was she beat what's her name? Tyra May Steele is her name. She beat her. Now Tyra May Steele is a US Olympian. Tyra May Steele ain't much when it comes to NXT. Meaning that if in kayfabe, if Chelsea was to beat Tyra May Steele, nobody's blinking an eye at that. She's Chelsea Green, right? Main roster, et cetera, et cetera. Chelsea went out of her way to protect Tyra because she hit her with the super unprettier. No need in kayfabe for her to hit her with a super unprettier, but she did for the win. I don't know whose idea that was. I don't know if it was hers. I don't know who the agent was, but whoever it was, that's the kind of stuff that I really appreciate and enjoy. To know that, yeah, I'm going to go over, right? But I'm going to do my best in going over to make you look as strong as you can look. Stuff like that doesn't happen maybe as often as I think it should in wrestling, but and she looked incredible. I mean, she looked absolutely incredible, but that's just another example of her doing what's best for the business.
And it's so subtle. And like you said, the average person wouldn't even have noticed it. But that seed that she planted in those people's head, that again, we don't really see, we don't really hear, we just feel it. She has now, like you said, gave her a rub. And she still lost. Well, talking about Chelsea not losing. Like in order to do that, which they had to go through, I thought that was just fantastic. And again, Chelsea, she's beautiful and gorgeous. And I'm happy this go around in WWE, she's able to step into her queendom, no pun intended, her presidency. But I'm happy that she's going to be able to get this part off in her life because she has been around for so long. And for her to finally get the fandom and praise from the fans I'm so happy for her. And she's paying it forward.
Man, I feel bad for that brother and that sister. And that man. Because like, they came out the crickets, man. They both came out there super hype, man. And everybody like what? Everybody looking like, I think at some point they started getting booed. I'm like, damn, where are they in Canada right now?
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, where were they? They were in the U.S., weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were in
Pennsylvania, maybe.
I don't know where they were. They were in the U.S. It's Chelsea, man. It's the Chelsea effect.
Yeah.
Man,
It's Chelsea
I'm
effect.
like, I'm like, how are they getting booed on their home turf? I'm like, this ain't looking good for these two here.
I did miss
God bless.
when they did the video package. I told Rhodesia, I was like, damn, I missed when like SummerSlam video and promo packages was like around summer and being hot. Back in the day, that's what like the SummerSlam
Heatwave, yeah.
promo packages were. So for them to do Heatwave and talk about like the heat of summer, I was like, damn, that kind of brought back some memories a little bit about what SummerSlam used to be. They don't even talk about the summer no more during SummerSlam.
They're in Massachusetts, Boston.
Yep, sure was. They was in Boston.
It makes sense. It makes sense now. Never mind.
Racist
That
ass
makes
Boston.
sense.
Shout out to anybody who listens in Boston. If you're listening in Boston,
Y'all
you're
know
black,
what it is.
run.
Y'all know what it
Run.
is. Hey, if y'all the Celtics players talk about what's going on out there, man. We know what it is. We better.
If you're
y'all.
white and you listen in Boston, let up off some of our people. They're good people out there.
Yeah, man. Look.
You know what I mean? Anything else from NXT before I just get to a couple quick things off of Forbidden Door?
Nope.
Hey, no. Hey, what was it before? Or did
Forbidden Wall.
What was
It's the Forbidden Wall. It still
Forbidden Wall.
is. It is. It's gonna always be the Forbidden Wall. It is.
Oh man! Hey, look,
Y'all done being
walls,
childish.
Hey, look, them, hey, let me tell you something. The wall's forbidden over here, man.
I was gonna say, I mean,
our flow is flowing. The wash is forbidden, man.
I don't think that Forbidden Wall can handle 10 inches. I'm just saying.
Hey, listen. Sometimes you gotta go back in the day, man.
You really about to break down the fourth wall.
oh my!
Like right, you get that. You know what I'm talking about?
Break down the
Man,
fourth
you know what I'm
wall.
talking about? You get that towel, you go like right, laying right on.
I've definitely used the towel before. Rhodesia's used the towel before. She just scooted that little butt up before with the towel. She knows. It was her idea sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
First off,
you're right. Forbidden Wall. There were no like match of the year candidates. There wasn't nothing that we probably even be talking about. Maybe even this time next month. Absolutely not like in a few months. But I thought it was a really good show. I did. I thought it was a really good show to watch. And I think the reason why I thought it was so good, because it feels like, and I definitely noticed it with All In, they are really starting to figure out how to put on a TV wrestling event. It's not just, let's go out there and just have every match gets 25 minutes and we just try to put on the best match possible in every single match from match 1 to match 11, where we get a table spot and a blading spot in match 2, and we get the barbed wire in match 3, and then we reverse it and get the same thing in match 6 and 7. The matches feel distinctly different, as it would be for a TV wrestling show. Now, if you're there and we are here for a PLE, a pay-per-view, you're not kind of thinking about that, but from a product perspective, it helps your product. So, like for me, if somebody would say, hey, was it worth paying for it now after the show is over? I'll probably say maybe not. It's probably not worth paying for. And this is probably the first AEW pay-per-view I have said that about now that it's over, right? It would be worth it going into it for some of those matches. But I thought it was a good show. I thought it was a good show. I do wish, and I know they don't do it, I do wish they would, after these major shows, I wish the wrestlers would have to sit down with an agent and just watch the match back and get feedback. Because there's just so much more they leave. I talk about leaving meat on the bone. I should say that a lot back in the day. There's a lot of meat left on the bone. There is still so much meat left on the bone with AEW matches and shows where they can get so much more out of the crowd. But they just go so fast. Or they just put something somewhere where I'm like, ooh, damn, you shouldn't have done that there. Like, you wasted it. Still thought the show was good. Definitely worth the time. I tweeted, I think AEW announcers do that show no favors. They call the show a lot of times as if it is like the three of us calling it, where somebody gets smoked with something and they laugh. It's like, well, you're not really supposed to laugh. You should be selling the severity of said move. When Darby and Gabe Kidd went off the cage, this was during the Lights Out match. Excalibur hits his line, they just went off the cage. 1 second later, Jim Ross says, I think we're done seeing them for the night. It was just like, JR, they just went off the top of the cage, man. Give me something, JR. This should feel like one of the apex of the match. Oh my God, the brutality. This match needs to be stopped. I know this is unsanctioned, but this is too far. Like, these guys are literally risking their lives for these spots, and y'all calling it like it's a headlock. Like, they got to be better with that.
I don't mind them calling a match the way, like, if we were to be watching the match. The difference is what we would be versus them is the synergy. And when we went to that one AEW show this year and we sat behind commentary, I told Matt this before, it was so noticeable of how each commentator was in their own little personal 10-inch by 10-inch bubble. Like, they didn't even turn to look at each other and talk to each other and engage with each other. They're looking at their monitor and they're in their own little world. Now, I know that people operate differently. Some people need to be focused here. Hell, I have notes and I freak out over here for a show that we do here. But it is no synergy. And I think that is what comes off on TV. Because if they had the synergy, JR saying, oh, we don't see them for a while, I think we would find that as pretty funny and like realistic. Because he's like, oh, they're done. It's because I feel that they have no synergy. Everybody's trying to get off their thing. And that's it. If they were together, how many times do we see on WWE, not comparing, but I'm just saying because I have to use this as a reference point, you get especially somebody like Corey Graves. He looks over to his partner. We look at Michael Cole. He looks over to the partner. You feel it. They're calling a match together and you feel that. So when they go back and forth and they'll make something like under their breath, oh, they're going to be gone for a while. It sounds different. But when you're all just one go, then one go, then one go, sometimes they step over each other, which I'm okay sometimes stepping over each other. It sounds awkward only because I don't feel like the synergy is there between them. And if it's because they pull out commentators and bring them in, I know sometimes that can be another dynamic there and it's hard to. And I think at Forbidden Door, they had someone from NJPW commentating as well.
He did a good job too. But
He
overall,
sounded great.
man, give me Ian Riccaboni, give me Bryan Danielson, and probably give me Taz. That's all I need. I think Tony Schiavone is a caricature of himself. I've been saying that for a long time. He hits his lines, and then that's kind of it. We love JR. Excalibur. We absolutely love JR. It's been time. But like, I get him just coming out there and being the legend that he is. I would just much rather putting him in, like we said it before, sit down promo spots. Yeah. Have him do that. But like, his time has passed, and Excalibur, I'm kind of over Excalibur. Like, I've been over him a little bit too. I just don't get the excitement that I should get from them. But then when I do hear Ian Riccaboni, I do see who's the other guy he was doing with Ring of Honor, the black guy,
Caprice.
No,
fantastic, right?
They're
like
good.
They are so good. It's like I wish they would just freshen that up a little bit. But yeah, I mean, that's overall. I like the show. And then real quick, Mercedes, she did it again. She does her best to put everybody in a spot to look. And that match had nothing to do with her. All three people looked better going into that match or going out of it as they did coming in, except for her. But that wasn't the point of that match. That point, the match was to highlight those other three women. And I thought she did a tremendous job with that.
My only thing on Forbidden Wall, outside of what we already talked about, was that Lights Out match. It is a gimmick match. We kind of knew we were getting going into it with the parties that was there. But I told Matt, I was like, that I feel like that was like a love language to wrestling fans. Because at the end of that match, we kind of saw, we saw Tanahashi last main match on US TV. I don't know of any other big pay-per-views that he would even be on. We know Ospreay is going away, and that video package that they produced for him almost had me in tears and you see Kenny. This is probably some of the last times we're going to see Kenny wrestling. Like, to me, it felt like at the end of that match, this was their last time to showcase themselves while being protected in the sense of it's not like a singles match one-on-one, that I'm able to just still contribute to the match that could still be good. I just felt at the end of that, before the whole chaos, I just thought, like, at peace, it kind of closed a few chapters for me in that book. And I thought that was really, really cool. That Tanahashi got the win too. Like, that's pretty awesome right there in itself. This is the end of this man's career. Like, I think sometimes that goes kind of unnoticed, or how special a moment can be, especially on US television. That to me was a beautiful match. I don't like the fork. I turned away.
Oh my God.
I did turn away. I can't rock with that kind of stuff. I don't rock with that. No.
Anybody who didn't see it, Moxley put a fork right in Darby Allin's ear where his earring goes and was just twisting it. And he was bleeding and blood was just going everywhere. It's like,
yeah. No, I don't like that. I don't condone that.
Oh boy, that is yikes. That is.
I hate that. Yeah.
Nasty business.
Mm-hmm. But good Forbidden Wall pay-per-view. I liked it. I would definitely spend your $59 or however much it is.
And one thing, just to summarize, the weekend, it happened on both AEW and NXT. Definitely more in AEW. And I know this is an old man thing. I know it is. So I'm probably showing my age. These kickouts at 3.125 is killing me. I am so over these kickouts after 3. They gotta tighten that up, man. They have to tighten that up. That's all. But they gotta tighten that up.
Hey, what do you guys think about Tony Khan saying that we're gonna, for now going forward, he's gonna promote title matches 1 week in advance.
Minimum 1 week in advance.
Minimum. Like,
for the cash-ins. Well, we call them cash-ins. For the people who win the Battle Royal. For the contract, remember, they could just come out and say they're cashing in. He's saying now, if they have that contract, they have to give at least a week notice. I think that's fantastic. I loved his answer, too. His answer is like, well, we should be able to promote it. And the biggest one was he said, we're not trying to be like, competition. Like, we feel like we have our own thing. And, of course, Money in the Bank, the whole thing is the cash-in. But I do like, okay, you won the Battle Royal. Now you got to give your champion a week's notice, and you got to beat him. I like that.
I don't care one way or the other.
I do like the idea of promoting, but it's still alarming to me when I hear him talk about how creatively he's the only person that can book that show. And if he doesn't do it himself, by himself, it's not a good show. I feel like that's like in any business. If you don't have a good team under you, you're going to fail. So I think it's just a warning sign for him. Like, man, look, you running a football team, you're running a soccer team, and you're running the whole creative for a company by yourself. And you don't feel like you got nobody around you that can help you do what you need to do. And I get what he was saying. I think he was saying that he was getting all these different ideas and it was too much. Like,
and the show sucked.
You need
got all
to
those ideas.
Look, but part of being smart is that you get ideas. That doesn't mean you have to use all the ideas.
Oh no, he still gets ideas. He's just saying now, like, he gives the final word. And like, I would say, since he said that, I mean, he said it, a little bit ago. Shows have been really good. Right, like even like Forbidden Door didn't have anything where you would scratch your head and just be like, man, who booked this? Now there were a couple of things where I was like, hey, really? Warlow was back. Love that. Love to see my guy War Dog back, and he's with the Callis family.
Man, they stacked.
Which, bro, they got like 35 people legit
and they
in
all
that faction.
Yes,
big,
sir.
meaty dudes.
Like legit, there's 35 people. How many people he need in that group?
I just hope they do something with Warlow. Let's see now. Let's see. That's all you keep saying.
Hey,
let's see.
He's a can't miss prospect.
Oh, there we go. See, what a way to bring it back around, E. Very nice job, buddy. Let's finish up with Clash in Paris. You guys care about the show? I do.
No. Yeah. Yes, I do. Stop. Yeah, I do. I'm probably going to watch a couple of the matches like that I'm invested in, but yeah.
You know, for me, WWE is I feel like it's a solid B minus promotion for me. Like, right, I feel like a lot of these shows, like, I'm gonna watch it because I actually enjoy the product. I enjoy the product a lot. But to say that I'm not looking forward to a particular match.
Got it.
I'm not necessarily looking forward to the anticipation. Like, oh man, on Saturday I gotta tune in. I'm going to tune in because I like WWE. I like wrestling. Like, I'm going to tune in. I can't say that I'm super excited or anticipating any particular match. I haven't anticipated a WWE pay-per-view or PLE in probably 6 to 8 months.
Sheesh. So
Probably since Mania. I haven't really been interested probably since Mania for a PLE.
So you got it at a B minus right now in 2025. 2024, your guy won the championship at WrestleMania. We got Final Boss in 2024. What was 2024 for you, grade wise?
Man, you think about, so like my guy won, right? So like I super anticipated that, right? Wanted to see that Mania. And like, again, the Bloodline stuff, we fantasized about what the booking would be out for like the entire year. I was super excited for War Games, right? When we finally had Bloodline versus Bloodline. Super looking forward to it. You know, for the most part, still holding on to some hope. I was looking forward to Mania. Like, right, what could possibly be? But once we started getting closer and closer to what the final Mania was going to be, then I was like, yeah, this is okay. For me, since April, it's been kind of like, I enjoy the product, I'll turn it on, but I'm not super anticipating like any particular thing.
Right. Because I'm saying, so what letter grade would you give 2024 with all that?
Oh, definitely
that
an A. Oh, an A. A plus probably.
What
A
about
plus,
2023? Baby. 2023, we had Cody not finishing his story. We had CM Punk's return to WWE.
Absolutely.
So A. Rhodesia, what do you give 2023, 2024, and 2025 so far?
I want to be able to do it like the school year. I wanted to go from like fall to the end of summer, because then I think that actually would narrow down like A plus, A minus, B plus, kind of like that. But so if I have to go in totality, I would say 25. So 23, I'll give it an A plus. 24, I'll give it an A. 25, I'll give it a B. And I don't know if I feel comfortable with saying that it's a B. Where I'm uncomfortable at, I might grade it higher just because I still watch the show. I'm still excited to watch the show. But again, I know what I'm going to get. Like, WWE is a meal that I know always hits. Like, one of my favorite meals at Outback. It's going to always hit. So I know it's going to be good. So if I was forced to pick it, because there's no way that this is the same grade as 24 and 23. So that's where I'm landing at B, but I still kind of feel that's a little disrespectful as far
go B
as
plus.
my grade.
Go B plus then.
Okay, go B plus. I go B plus. Nope, I'm gonna say a B. Say a
B. B.
Say a B.
Yeah, I'm absolutely A and A for 23 and 24. 2025. I mean, we're kind of in the same. I'm much closer to the B minus than I am just like a B plus. It's been good. They've been good. But I could, if we had to critique, and that's what we do a lot, of course, on the show, I could probably critique more things than what has been right.
In 23, 24, the finish in the story, I mean, all of that is, I don't even want to grade that, because that is like some writing. And I can't even tell you how the rest of the card looked. That's just how great and how important that Bloodline story was, how the finish in the story was in 23 and 24. That I don't remember the rest of the cards. I mean, I don't remember what other storylines we had coming out of that. And I still would say that those were my greatest years of wrestling.
But you know, it's some weird thing you think about. I think like from the women division right now, I think it's booked better than it ever has.
Yes.
Right? They have so many plots, so many characters that are interesting. The tag team division they're trying to do, like they're trying to do a lot of different things. But I think we talked about it before many times. I think it's the way they book like the top of the card that kind of trickles down.
Yep.
But like as just thought about it, as we'll talk about it, like think about your favorite sports team. Like you're gonna follow like the games, right? But for instance, like I want to follow the Pistons, like right, and if they go play the Magic, and that's the Magic are pretty good, but I'm not interested in seeing the Magic that much, right? I'm not, like if they go play the Utah, Jazz, like right? Hey, I follow the Pistons. I'm gonna watch the game, but am I super excited on a Saturday night to watch the Pistons play the Jazz? Maybe not, but I'm going to watch the game if I'm home because I'm into the Pistons. But it's a different story when they're in the playoffs and they playing for something that means something. And that's why I feel like right now, like when the year WWE's having right now, I don't know if like they're really playing for something that means anything right now. Like I don't know what the biggest, even you take the Roman and Seth potential story for WrestleMania, for the next WrestleMania, I don't think that's as big as the WrestleManias we've gotten in the past couple of years.
Of course not.
No, but that speaks to why it's a B- for you, and why I'm sitting there hovering, saying it's been good. Like I'm not missing a Monday Night Raw show, right?
No.
We never can watch live, but we always watch Monday night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This past Friday was the first time I watched SmackDown in totality. Sheesh, it's been some weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I can miss a SmackDown.
But
I don't feel nothing about it.
2023, 2024, I'm sure you weren't missing SmackDown.
No, because you
Of
had
course
Rock,
not.
you
know
had
what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
Of course
right?
not.
Exactly.
Of course not.
Yep.
And then you think about it from a fan perspective, because my fandom for WWE is kind of lessened. It doesn't mean I'm transferring over to AEW. Like, I still watch AEW, but I'm not watching SmackDown. That means I have more time to watch Collision.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still probably not gonna watch Collision. Like, right?
I'm so straight on that.
I'm like, I'm good. Like, right? I'm gonna find something else to do with my time.
They're saying Collision is great though. I don't have, the want to like watch another 2 hours right now, but everybody is saying how great that show is. So good for them. Good for them for turning around in terms of just what the quality was. We know how great it was when Punk was running it. I thought it was the best show on TV for like 2 months. Best wrestling show.
But it's wrestle heavy. When you watch the Collision, I turned it on. I forgot I watched it. I did turn it on. It's wrestle heavy, right? It's not a lot of story per se happening, but it's a lot of quality wrestling over the course of 2 hours. So if you want to see some quality wrestling for 2 hours on Saturday, there you go.
I'll tell you somebody who's I think can't miss in AEW's women's division.
And who?
In the women's division for AEW.
AEW, okay, who?
Yeah. You know who.
Who?
No, you know who. This isn't a... Who am I really high on in the women's division AEW?
Sky Blue.
No. Megan Bain.
Oh, yeah, but we haven't seen her.
To me, she's can't miss. No, we have. We have.
I haven't seen her.
Pretty said we haven't seen her. But she works Collision. I guess she squashed, what's her name? From WWE, or used to be from WWE. Alba Fire. She showed up on, like, legit. She was on Collision, and she squashed her. Oh, and shout out to my guy, Austin Ace. He signed AEW.
Yeah, he signed a
couple
weeks ago.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
Love to see that. He's been, in TNA, Impact is big leagues, quote unquote, but he's been ready for, like, a prime spot on somebody's national TV. So I'm happy to see that.
Damn, and all praise to Chris. I'm hoping that Chris Bay can recover. He can get back in there with him. When I see Austin, I think of Chris. Mm-hmm. I thought their tag team was going to be like, they were a great tag team. I thought they deserved to be on a big stage. So now that Austin's at AEW, I'm like, damn, I wish Chris was healthy. And I would love to see them take over that AEW division. I mean, shouts out to him, though. Shouts out to Austin.
Absolutely.
Prayers
absolutely. For Chris. Always thoughts and prayers, for sure. All right, y'all. Clash and Paris.
The way I would ask y'all this. Oh, go ahead. You about to?
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to just say, because we all kind of said that, we're kind of maybe looking forward to it. I was going to say, is anybody dropping the title? Or is everybody retaining? And the 3 titles that's up as of right now is the heavyweight with John Cena.
John Cena.
Sorry.
Wouldn't
Whoa,
the hell?
wait.
The 2 matches
Oh,
with John.
man.
So
Hold up, wait a minute.
I'm looking at pictures. That's why. So the heavyweight championship, which is the 4-way, fatal 4-way. You think anything?
Seth Rollins, LA Knight, Jey Uso versus CM Punk.
Yeah. Do we think Rollins
Absolutely
is
not.
dropping it? I don't
Absolutely
think so
not.
either.
He hasn't even debuted his new theme song yet. If he would have debuted his new theme song like 2 weeks ago, I'd be like, yeah, there's a shot. There's no shot.
He said he's dropping it. Any way that he's losing.
Nah, man.
Okay. And then the other one would be.
I am interested. I think the match can be worked very well, and I'm interested to see which story comes out of it. Like, do they go to a CM Punk LA Knight feud? And if you do that, you're kind of setting up LA Knight
to lose again,
to get booed.
But
I don't know.
What they've been doing.
What does Jay do next? Do we somehow go to a Jay Seth 1-on-1 match after this and for a feud? The way Roman hyped him up, like, we know how these matches can happen. Like, you don't have to be involved in the finish, the whole thing, et cetera, et cetera. Like, I'm interested to see. You would think just though these 4 would be in feuds somehow, some way for the next few weeks.
Yeah. Or it could go anyway, because even Roman had told Jay, hey, it's cool that you like people and stuff like that, but watch out for Punk. I don't trust him, that kind of thing.
Oh, he'll rock with Punk.
Yeah, so it could go any kind of different way.
Even though Punk really never did anything to Roman. Am I forgetting? Heyman called Punk to help on War Games. Punk cashing his favor for his friend to walk him down at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
and that was it, right?
I got to go back in my memory bank.
Okay.
And then the only other match would be Nikki Bella. And
I would
Becky.
love Nikki to win against Becky. Just because it would kind of be like, not a shocker, but you know how this goes. Like, we get the legend that comes back, and it's always kind of the same thing, right? She's going to be here for a while. I would really like for Nikki to beat Becky. Now, does it make sense for Nikki Bella to beat Becky Lynch? No, it doesn't. Becky is doing tremendous work right now. Like, I haven't enjoyed Becky this much since she was the initial man.
Yeah.
Right? Like, right after Nia punched her and she went on that crazy run. Not like the man after that, where she would come out and say the man has come to and then insert city.
The man's come around.
Yeah, I'm good, man. No, thank you. No, thank you. But I'm really enjoying her work. But I like Nikki. I would like for her to win.
What you think, E?
I think so. Here's I'm looking at this card. Actually, the more I look at the actual card, the less disinterested I get.
Wait,
the more
so that means you.
disinterested.
Okay, that means you are.
Let me Google that too.
From a Stu E, less disinterested.
Yeah, look this. So you look at I'm on Wikipedia right now.
Okay.
Cena and Paul. Cena's winning.
I don't really care about that match.
The World Heavyweight Championship. Like, Seth most likely is going to win.
Yep.
The only match that you probably can go back and forth is Sheamus versus Rusev, and depending on how you feel about the feud, depends on if you care who wins or not, right?
Yeah. It's for nothing, really.
Roman Reigns is most likely going to beat Bronson Reed, right? As he should. Most likely. Let's say we get some kind of upset. Be interesting. A big match, Becky Lynch and Bella. Maybe Nikki does win. It'd be an interesting way to keep the feud going. That might be something they can kind of look into. But this seems like another card to where you look at it, you can easily book who should win these matches. So for me, that takes away some of the steam for me, because there's nothing's going to happen. It's going to be like, oh yeah, you know what? Damn, that was a surprise. I can't believe that happened. Like, none of the people that should win, there's no reason why they shouldn't win at this point.
Well, it's a 5-match card. And remember, we used to say this a lot. We'd be like, oh, you can call this, and then we'd be wrong about every match. Because it would be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what Triple H, that's what they used to do in 2024. A little different now. But I don't know, man, if I would critique or talk about the excitement due to me kind of seeing who's going to win. Now, if this was WrestleMania, for sure. I remember WrestleMania, I think it was 29 in New York. We're like, 2 months before the show, I'm like, we can call every single winner. Like, that takes, just everything out of it. But here, we know Seth's going to retain. We know Cena's going to win, hopefully. We know Roman's going to win. But I think, and that's the thing about having these pay-per-views or these big shows every 2 or 3 weeks. Everything like this is a stopgap show, right? Like we're coming off of SummerSlam.
Yep.
This is a stopgap. Big show in France. The crowds will be hot. Hopefully the matches should be good. I do think Sheamus and Rusev haven't disappointed yet. They're not going to disappoint again. This is the final time. They'll do something crazy, which would be fun. So I guess the good thing about this show is looking at this card, I do think every match is going to be entertaining. And really, at the end of the day, that's all we can ask for.
Yep.
Yeah, that's all we can ask for. But I do think it's going to be entertaining. I'm looking forward to it. I won't be able to watch until later Sunday night. Because it's like noon, I think, right? Central time or something, because they're in France.
No, 2 p.m.
2 p.m., yeah.
Eastern, yep.
But yeah, I think it'll be a show that we will say, hey, that show was entertaining.
Yeah.
And then we'll move on from it.
But there's a lot of stopgap shows that they have. I would say I feel like most of them are. Most of them, there's predictable, very predictable winners to these matches, right? And they very quickly go to the next thing. Like I actually rather them see a promo segment with EO and Kairi Sane and Asuka than watch some of these matches.
Can we talk about that real quick? Was I the only one that thought EO and Rhea was gonna kiss?
They was about to go in. They was about to tongue kiss each other.
And even Cole was like, well, that was really weird. So I was like, okay, so evidently they must be going for weird for him to say that. But I was just like, are they about to, like, what are we doing right now?
What is the opposite of bromance?
Lesbians.
Okay, I think that's a perfect way to end the show.
Just saying. That's what came to my mind. All right. Guess that's the way we're wrapped. And just so you know, to be less de-interested means you are experiencing a reduced lack of interest or indifference, becoming more engaged, curious, or involved. That's kind of like an oxymoron.
Yeah, it's a double negative.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or I would call it a double negative.
Somebody on Reddit 2 years ago said, is it normal to lose all interest in the things that you used to like?
Do they have?
That's called depression.
I would say that's depression. Do they have new? Do they have new things they like?
And Sadie616 said, yes. When you are depressed, it's very common, almost if everything is meaningless. Somebody said it was part of my diagnosis. I got ADHD, so it's not uncommon for me to move my attention to different hobbies frequently.
Yeah, I think that question needs more context. It's like, have I lost interest in everything, or just have I lost interest in everything I had typically liked? Because someone can change, they can evolve and get into a new season in their life. It's everything you disinterested in. That's when you need to talk to a doctor.
Man, shout out to anybody who's going through mental health. I mean, everybody goes through mental health. Everybody's got something they're battling. So shout out, stay strong.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like this, not to like serious out right at the end of the show, but somebody just said this is normal. I personally lost all my interest for about 10 years. Now I think my brain really believes that I actually have no interest, and I'm struggling how to get my interest back again because my brain doesn't know how anymore. And like 43 people like that comment. It's like, yo, man, like that's.
Well,
hopefully this show, if you are going through something, gives you some relief from your normal everyday thing. But keep your head up, man. Like I said, everybody goes through stuff. And we love y'all. You know what I'm saying? We love y'all. So we out of here. We will be back next week, I guess, to recap Clash in Paris. And is there another pay-per-view on next Sunday? Next Saturday? Like, seems like we man,
maybe
we'll
so.
be previewing that show too.
All there. It's all
and we
there.
still got to get to Mandy Rose talking about the herpes outbreak in NXT. And we still got to get to the Hollywood Reporter ranking the top 10 wrestlers turn actors. Still got to get to that. We didn't have time.
It's not even close. But we'll save that for later. And
then maybe we can deep dive the WrestleMania question for WrestleMania 42. And I'll finally get my answer.
We did deep dive it already.
Yeah, we did. Holla at y'all. Love y'all. Peace.